Today we're going to Oakville and we're going to be dropping off our Tesla at the Oakville Service Center so that way they can go and fix the issues that we've had for the delivery, including the problem that we had with the supercharger. We're not too sure what else needs to be done, but I want to make sure that it all gets done at once, obviously. We will be getting a loaner vehicle as well too. Not sure what it is yet. Today I got with me Ashton in the back. You wave, Ashton. It's about -7 right now. Winter driving has not been the greatest for electric vehicle, but that's the way it is. We're finding that we're losing probably about 40, even almost a 50% charge sometimes, depending on the driving conditions. Oh, we are here. Just for this trip alone, I averaged about 239 watt-hours per kilometer, which isn't too bad. I'm actually not too sure where I'm supposed to park. Into the service bay we go. Let's go up the hill. Open sesame. And in we go. So I wonder if we're gonna get that white. Oh, probably not that one because that one doesn't have a license plate on it. So we're in the new loaner car now. I just have to get things set up in the car because it's kind of foreign whenever you get into a rental or something like that. It's kind of gotta set all your mirrors and everything.
Hi, camera.
Hey Ashton, what do you think about the loaner car that we have?
Very good. We have a new car.
What do you like about it so far?
A lot of stuff.
Like? Do you like the color of the car?
Yes.
What about the glass roof?
Yeah, sure.
Is it as comfortable as our car?
Yeah.
What's the same about this car compared to ours?
It's just like stuff that it can't like open the roof wide.
No, can't open the roof. Obviously, we don't have the Falcon wing doors.
Yeah.
So this is actually a sedan. Those 4 doors.
Yeah.
A little tighter than we're used to. I had a lot of trouble getting your car seat in. A lot of trouble because I haven't put your car seat into a small car like this in a long time. So I know when you get a loaner vehicle, there's certain things that you cannot do compared to your own. One of the biggest things that I think we're going to be missing is the fact that we don't have the mobile app connected to the car. Because of that, we won't be able to tell when the car needs charging or how much charge is available left, as well as being able to turn turn on the air and stuff like that when you're not inside the car. So that's going to be a little bit of a disadvantage, but it's not too bad. Just basically like any of your old cars that you really have.
Yeah.
So it should be okay, I think, for us to last for maybe a week or two.
Yeah, right, Daddy.
So here's the loaner that we got from Tesla. It's a Model S 100D. We asked specifically for at least 100 so that way we can make sure we're getting somewhere we need to go. But otherwise, if you are going to drop your car off for service, make sure that you do call well ahead of time if you're looking for a Model X. Even though they do indicate, you know, you'll get a Model X if you have a Model X. I haven't actually had any sort of dealership before actually give you the same kind of vehicle. It is usually a smaller vehicle or a sedan or something that they have. Now, when you drop your car off for service, one of the things that they do recommend is whatever you are bringing the car in for, make sure that you have some kind of photos, videos with timestamps. That makes their job a whole lot easier to be able to troubleshoot the issues. So the issues that we were bringing our car in for, again, were from the initial delivery. There are a couple body shop things that need to be fixed. For example, the Falcon door wing alignments are a little off on both sides. We also found stuff like, for example, hairline scratch in the windshield, as well as one also in one of the headlights. Besides that, the other service issues that we did report sounded like they actually knew about some of the problems with the Model X at least. A couple of doors needed the weather stripping redone, which is not a problem. They can do that actually at the service center itself. We also had a problem with the floor between the 2 middle seats. That was squeaking, so they can actually pull up the middle and make sure that it's reset properly so it doesn't squeak anymore. And of course as well, we had the 2 issues that we had on the screen where the battery cooling wasn't working properly, as well as the AC was being limited. Those 2 issues are probably related to each other, so they're going to have a look at that and figure out what was wrong with that. And of course, the big one for us was that it wasn't working at the supercharger. The service tech says it might have something to do with the actual connection to the actual vehicle, so which is why it wasn't working at multiple chargers when we were in Vaughan Mills, but it doesn't have any sort of problem with our wall charger at home, and as well as in the other level 2 chargers that we've used too. So they're going to have a look at that to make sure that it's actually working properly so that we can actually do supercharging in the future. I'm going to do an overview of some of the things that the S has. And I realize I actually haven't done anything with our own Model X to show you guys what we actually got in our vehicle, but I'll do that when we get our car back. So let's just go over some of the details that we have with the loaner vehicle. It's a Model S 100D, has about the same number of kilometers as our vehicle has right now, so it's probably coming off the line roughly about the same time. First thing about the cargo space, the front trunk is about the same size as what we have in the Model X. Perhaps maybe a bit deeper. The rear trunk is actually very enormous, very deep. I'm not sure if it's got actually more space than what it feels like for the Model X, but you can see how deep that is. This is a snow brush all the way from tip to the end there. You can have a whole lot of stuff in the back here. Plus there's also more space underneath the bottom of the base here as well too. So a lot of space in both the Model S and the X, but I feel like the S might actually have a bit more if you're not counting basically the height of the Model X. It's been a while since I've actually driven a sedan. Our previous car was a 2-door convertible, so things were kind of tight in the back. But even for the back of the vehicle here, you can see that we have the 2 seats in the back as well, but there is more space in between the two. One of the things that I did have a little trouble was getting the car seats into the back. Because the car seat itself has to latch over the top, it was a little hard for me to do it without having to reach around the side to make sure that I could actually reach all the way into the back of the trunk because of the depth of the trunk itself. Of course, one of the famous features that the Model S has are the retractable door handles, which may not be as cool as the Falcon Wing doors, but they are pretty neat. As you approach the car, basically it'll open up, and then it's just a regular door from here. So one thing to note is with the Model S, you have a much more traditional door in the sense that the door itself has 3 latching points, so that way the hinges on the door will only open at certain angles. So here, and then as well finally here, so that's fully opened up. Whereas the Model X has a motor that actually will hold the door in place. Benefit is really that you can open the door at any angle that you want for the Model X, and in case there's, for example, a car next to you, you can actually open it just enough so that you're not actually going to hit the car. So the interior of the Model S has the glass roof, which is really nice for especially the people sitting in the back. You can basically have a full view of everything above you, and it is tinted as well too. If we were to get a Model S, this is probably one of the options that we would have chosen as well instead of getting the sunroof. So the interior that we have here is a black on black. The fabric seats are not too bad. It does give you a bit more of a grip when you're sitting on them. And the leather is actually the same as the other vehicles where it's polyurethane instead of an actual leather itself, so it won't actually get any sort of creasing over time. Should be a little more durable too. In terms of options, this one does not look like it has the enhanced autopilot. It does have the suspension. It doesn't seem to have all the other safety features, but maybe that's only in the X, I'm not sure. And you can see there that the vehicle has almost 4,000 kilometers on it right now. So in closing, the Model S is actually a very nice vehicle, but I do miss our Model X already. When I opened up the garage door this morning, I did kind of feel like I was missing the Model X. I think the biggest thing that surprised me was the amount of space between the driver's seats and the rear. I really felt that it was a little more cramped, especially when Anderson's going to be in the back. His feet can definitely touch the front. I think it would have probably been better if there was more leg space for the passengers in the back and move the seats further back so that you lose a bit of trunk space. But that's just my opinion. So stay tuned for more videos. We will be taking the Model S on a road trip in the near future, so we'll have a bit of video from that as well. Thanks again for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe and leave any comments in the bottom.